known that the Milky Way is a spiral. I saw the painting in a magazine. I was in America. The painting was in Spain, owned by a gallery in London, painted in Venice for an emperor in Prague. Tintoretto never left Venice, except a single short trip to Mantua. The Milky Way is a spiral, a windmill, a million stars like arms thrown out. We look at the spiral from the plane of the spiral. Inside the spiral, it looks like a straight line, a path across the sky. Or so I remember. I can't see the stars in Dallas or London. The sky is too bright.
Flight 156 London Heathrow, now boarding through 3.
We're on the edge of the galaxy. Half of the painting is missing.
I'll be very brief because I know that we need to get on to the next person.
See if anybody has questions for you too. So.
But yeah, I just wanted to say, I mean, as you can see from the credits, kind of the difference between this and most videos that you would see on YouTube is it has a large crew. Being a film, I wasn't the person setting up the lights, I wasn't the person behind the camera, I wasn't either of the actors, I wasn't the producer. And that's really kind of a distinction between the workflow of film and having a web camera, but kind of a style that I deliberately went for was creative nonfiction, because so much of the internet is based on blogging and is based on wanting narratives, but true narratives. And then aside from that, I wanted to go ahead and use as an advantage the fact that I had so little film stock, because I think one of the things that's so appealing about a lot of the video that you see online is, it's been one take. You know that that's the only time it's happened, and there's a certain freshness in it. I mean, I've made other films in which you can do many, many, many takes until you get exactly the performance you want, but there is always a spark of something special the very first time something happens and a camera's rolling.
And you said all this was all one take, right?
Yes. That film is about 4 minutes. I had 5 minutes of stock to shoot on, which is not
no
really
mistakes.
5 minutes of stock, because you have to shoot a grayscale at the front, you have to include a tail at the end to protect the film, you have to shoot slates. So I used, there are flash frames from when you turn off the camera. So I used just about every frame that I shot.
How much preparation did you have to do to plan it out?
Well, let me think. I really had, I had about a month off of school knowing that I was going to be doing the project, during which I could work on scripts and kind of think about what painting I was going to be using. And then when I got back, I formed up a team with 5 other students, and we all worked on each other's film for about well, there were 6 of us, and we each had a gay, so just for 6 days in a row, we made a different person's film. So actually at the end of each day, we would sit down and switch roles and have a meeting about the next day. So at the end of this day, I think everybody sat down, and I started being the director of photography immediately, and stopped being the director. And then, so I would say probably about 6 weeks pre-production time, like after we had solid scripts. Then about a week shooting all of the various films. And then about a month to do the picture edit, and then the sound edit, and then the grade and the export of the video, and then the dub where you go into a mixing studio and you balance all the sound levels.
Okay, excellent. Questions?
And all the sound effects were done afterwards too, like even the doors closing?
Yeah, all of that is me walking around with an Nagra recorder, foleying it, including like the airport. Like that's not an airport. That's a wing of the gallery.
Well done.
Felt like an airport.
It did. I believe it.
I mean, you mentioned YouTube briefly, and the styles that you're using. What do you think of YouTube? Has it been bad for film, or is it just...
I think it's been outstanding for film, and outstanding for music video. The thing about both short films and music videos is, well, music videos have a really strong commercial purpose, because you're selling an image of a band, and trying to get people hooked on the song. But in terms of short film, there's not really a market for them. Before, if you wanted to see a short film, you can't buy a DVD of short films. I mean, there are a few of them, but mostly if you make a short film, the only people who are going to see it are people at film festivals, and film festivals are normally only interested in showing shorts that have only been around a couple of years. So if you wanted to see something from 5 years ago that your friend said was awesome, well, it's not showing anymore, and it only showed in Paris. So now you can find that stuff, and it's really exciting, because if there's a good director, word gets around, and you link to it. And I mean, I don't think the community feedback is necessarily as helpful. There's a lot of trolling on YouTube, but no, I think it's really, really been helpful for artists to promote
Do
themselves.
you distribute your stuff with YouTube and like the National Gallery or other places? Because you have higher quality video there than...
Well, this is exclusively through the National Gallery.
So you wouldn't put this on YouTube until...
Just because it's so accessible, I don't think I will go ahead and put it on YouTube, just because it is very, very easy to find. I think one thing that I like about this particular venue is that it's mediated. I mean, there's so much stuff on YouTube. They have suggestions, and you really can lose yourself seeing stuff all the time, which I do. I mean, I lose hours to YouTube. But the nice thing here is through this, you can find only things by other LFS students, or you can go in and find only things. I mean, and I also like it because it'll link you not just to other video, but to paintings and to scholarship about the paintings. I don't really like a balkanization of art, I think, particularly because I work in film, which is so very, very, very communal. I'm always interested in how art responds to other art, and not just how video responds to video, although that's great, but how video responds to dance or responds to music.
Good. Does anybody else have any questions for Romy? We'll be discussing more of this shortly. We'll transition to Kyle. I'm not sure which piece he's going to show, so I'll let him set it up. With Kyle, I can pretty much get anything.
I figured I'd probably start off explaining my history, maybe share 1 or 2 pieces of my art, kind of show like one video of my research, what I've been doing inside Second Life, and then kind of go into some photographs of a show I just curated up at the school. So I kind of explain what the current direction my work is going. What Dan mentioned, I'm a PhD student at UTD, at University of Texas at Dallas. I also have my undergrad and my MFA from there also. My undergrad was in video production, and then my MFA was focused on media and video art. And the way that all started was when I finished my undergrad degree, I was like every other kind of film or video kid. You get a camera, you want to try everything, you want to do movies, music videos, documentary, you just go out there. Well, when I started my master's, I started taking a few art classes and wondered if I could ever maybe start doing video paintings. And the one thing I realized was take the camera and go out and shoot stuff. And I was trying to make abstract video paintings, is what I call them, and a few other artists at school. And the reason I call them video paintings is because the argument is basically a painting can only be a still image. And I disagree with that.